and SABC News International Editor. Sophie Mokoena joins us in studio now. Sophie, of course, there's been a lot of talk around this particular visit, and when you look at the debate, even on social media, people continue to have different views. And I wonder, what did South Africa have to say continuously when it comes to this issue of how they are seen to be playing coy still, instead of picking a side, and they keep still talking about the foreign policy? Are they still digging in their heels there?
I think we know very well that since the ANC became a governing party in South Africa, the position of the government of the ANC has been very clear that the focus is to ensure world peace. And therefore, in whatever conflict or situation where you have two countries at loggerheads, they always take a more neutral position. It is not the first time. They do it on the continent as well. Because when you look at the ANC policy, the international relations policy, even before they were in government, it spoke to maintaining the world peace. And therefore, whatever is being done or said, there's no way ANC is going to change its policy. And therefore, even the deployees in government, as long as ANC is in charge, there's no way they are going to move away from that position. And therefore, in terms of the South African society, there are a huge number of people who are supporting the relations between South Africa and Russia. You also have people who are against this. And therefore, it is that kind of a relationship where you have those who really believe that what Russia did when it was still a Soviet Union in assisting the liberation organizations on the continent and in South Africa in particular, did at that time cannot be forgotten. And therefore, Russia will continue to be a friend of the governing party, and as long as the governing party is in power, there's no way they are going to change that policy. Mandela used to tell other heads of states that no one will dictate to South Africa who South Africa's friends must be. Who can forget that tough stand Madiba took? You also have the former President Thabo Mbeki, who was always pushing for South-South, and rather the friends that you know, and Africa in particular, as a priority. So I can't see government changing its stance.
Especially when some of even the analysts are talking about the scramble and how South Africa should really be playing it to its own advantage. Hey, let's talk about another issue that has been coming up for quite some time. In fact, these couple of days, South Africa coming under fire for the joint military drills with Russia and China next month. But listening to the DIRCO minister saying that there are double standards here. Tell us more.
Well, as you pointed out, South Africa has responded in terms of the Minister of International Relations. But later today, we received a media statement from the Defense Department, from the Minister of Defense, also emphasizing the fact that this is not the first time the country is having such activities. It is normal. Last year, the French were here for the same exercise, and the Americans were on our shores for the same exercise. And they will continue to engage other countries with the intention to capacitate the South African military. And therefore, the exercise will continue next month. The Russians will be here. The Chinese will be here. And that naval exercise by all these three countries, who are all of them members of the BRICS group, will continue. And South Africa is emphasizing that no one will dictate who South Africa's friends will be. On the issue of the timing, because of the role of Russia in the Ukraine war, South Africa saying that that matter they are engaging with the relevant authorities to try and persuade them to engage in the peace talks.
All right, an interesting one to watch. And remember, SABC News will be there to bring you all these stories, all this coverage and more. Thank you so much, Sophie, for your time this evening. That's our international news editor, Sophie Mokoena.